morning, families. Happy Monday. Welcome to Monday Fun Stories. I hope you're doing well. We all have struggles in our lives, right? Let's hear Jeremiah's story about his struggle and how he kind of fixed it as the years went by. Our story today is Jeremiah and the letter E. It's one of our newer books in our children's library. So please, when we're back together again sometime, make sure you check it out. The text copyright is 2012 by David Giuliano, and the illustrations copyright is 2012 by Megan Irvine. Jeremiah and the letter E. I'm sure you will relate. When Jeremiah went to kindergarten, he was good at learning new things. He learned that when the bus driver said, "Stay back on the curb," she meant stay back on the curb only until the bus stops. He learned that at school there are 2 bathrooms, one for boys and one for girls. He learned that when he sees a bear, he should drop his pack, back away at an angle, and go to the nearest house. Jeremiah learned all these things. It wasn't hard. But what he couldn't and wouldn't ever learn was the letter E. And that's the little letter E. The big one's pretty easy. So after supper, Jeremiah would print his name over and over. He groaned, "I can't and won't ever get the letter E." He made the fish hook, called J. He made the little diving board, called R. He made the 2 mountains, called M. He made the circle and the stick for the A in apple. He made the stick with a bright idea called I. He made the little chair called H, but he couldn't and wouldn't ever get the letter E. "Who gave me this crazy name?" he yelled. "It has 2 E's. Whoever named me should have known I couldn't and wouldn't ever make the letter E." He put his head down on the table to give his brain a rest, and he cried. His mom and dad tried to help. That didn't work. But one day, after trying for a long time, Jeremiah shouted, "I can make the letter E. Look, it's like a smiley fish looking at a hook." Jeremiah made the letter E everywhere. He made the letter E on his bedroom wall. He made it on the ceiling. He made it on his dad's forehead while he was sleeping. And he told his friend, "That's a letter E." As he got older, Jeremiah had to learn other new and difficult things. Jeremiah had to learn how to skate, which he was sure he couldn't and wouldn't ever learn. But he remembered the letter E. Jeremiah had to learn how to shoot the ball into the basket, which he was sure he couldn't and wouldn't ever learn. But then he remembered the letter E. Jeremiah had to learn how to make up with his friend after a fight, which he was sure he couldn't and wouldn't ever learn. But then he remembered the letter E. When he grew up, Jeremiah had to learn how to drive a car. He had to learn how to be a husband. He had to learn how to be a dad, all of which he was sure that he couldn't and wouldn't ever learn. But what do you think he did? He remembered the letter E. Every time Jeremiah had to learn something different, a little voice inside him whispered, "Remember the letter E." And he knew that he could and would learn something new. So Jeremiah struggled. He struggled when he was about 5 years old with trying to make that darn little E. I had a problem, I think, with S and N when I was about that age. They were always backwards and wrong. Do you keep working when you're struggling with something? Do you keep working at it until you get it right? Jeremiah remembered his struggle making the letter E, and every time something was hard, he thought about that letter, and it helped him get through his struggle. How wonderful and proud we feel when we overcome our struggles, right? And if you do, give yourself a hug or a pat on the back or a bravo. You worked it out and you didn't give up. I hope you enjoyed our story about Jeremiah and his wonderful lesson in struggles. Have a great week. I will see you soon. Bye.